So before we get started with this story, if you want to support the channel, check out my Teespring store. You'll find a link in the description. You'll find search such as this one, a Soye story. All right, so I thought this was pretty interesting and worth sharing with you guys. So check out this headline. Candidate dedicated to fighting against censorship of manga and anime and video games wins election to Japanese House of Councilors. So he got elected purely on, well, among other things, but his biggest platform was saying, I'm going to stand up for anime and manga. It just shows you the power of that platform over there. So there's been a big belt tightening on the way creators are allowed to create manga and anime over in Japan for the past couple of years. The best example I can give and how this has changed things over there is I can directly compare Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Kai. Now, in the Dragon Ball Z version of even the first couple of episodes, when Goku and Piccolo fought Raditz, when Goku was holding Raditz, Piccolo shot his beam through the both of them, and you actually saw it go through them. Now, in the Kai version, which is fairly recent, you don't actually, I don't remember if you see it go through them or not, but when Goku falls to the ground in Z, he had a hole right there in his chest. But in Kai, they covered it up, put black over there. You couldn't really see that. There was like that burst through him. So I like using that because I think it's a good example of how things were and how they are now. And these things do eventually make it over here, and we're getting a more inferior product than it used to be. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad now, but it used to be a little bit more hardcore. So this guy actually rallies up otakus and gets elected. I think he was actually already elected and he regained his seat. It's a little bit unclear. Like, I'm not really familiar with how things work over there. I just like the way the guy ran, and I really think it shows the power of a community. So the anti-censorship campaign stance of Japan House of Councilors candidate Toru Yamada appears to have resonated strongly with his constituents, as it has been reported that Yamada has won his bid for election. Yamada's election campaign greatly focused on standing against the censorship of comics, manga, and video games, appealing greatly to the otaku community. During his campaign, Yamada further courted the otaku community by playing a custom Vocalad theme song, Yamada Toro no Yuda, or Yamada Toro song from the speakers of his campaign cars. Let me play you a little bit of this because it's kind of funny. So I just find this fascinating that anime and manga was able to get this guy elected. Now, he also went with video games, but those were his biggest pushes, anime and manga. It really shows you the power of that stuff over there. You know, we had that unfortunate fire recently that did a big damage to that culture. A lot of stuff got lost in that, a lot of lives, and it's a really sad thing. Really sad thing. So I do want to point out, they do say that he also focused on issues such as privacy and freedom of expression on the net, but his main focus, his main issues, his main platform was anime and manga. So it's also noted here that this could be a preview of the clout that otakus have over in Japan, which is amazing. Could you imagine two people running against each other and they're using, like, they commission anime battle scenes for their platforms? That would be amazing. We'll never see anything like that over here, but man, that would be kind of cool. I would imagine we would still watch them, but it's just kind of the creative things that I think that they could do with this. And it kind of seems like that's the way they're going to go now, because this is a big concern over there. People are a little bit flustered with what's going on. So a lot of tweets here saying Yamada made it very clear that he wanted to fight efforts within the LDP that would damage the freedom of manga and anime, and worked hard to cement trust with the otaku community. This landslide victory is expected to have a profound impact. It looks like he outperformed many other LDP candidates at the ballot by a huge margin. That is insane. And it says here, this will directly translate to how much clout otakus will have at the national level in Japan. So watch for this number. And then I can't even read this one. So this is really interesting stuff. And I think it's very interesting because I don't think I've ever heard of someone running purely on anime and manga. I think this is mind-blowing stuff. So the article goes on to say manga and anime and video game censoring has become a growing concern. Sony recently confirmed they have a censorship policy to the Wall Street Journal. The paper reported the guidelines entail a Sony spokeswoman confirmed the company has established its own guidelines so that creators can offer well-balanced content on the platform, and gaming does not inhibit the second growth and development of young people. She declined to say when these guidelines were introduced or to discuss them in detail. However, this would be contradicted by a Japanese Sony spokeswoman who indicated that these are not new guidelines. They did confirm that executives will review games on a case-by-case basis for content, and it may be considered offensive and unsafe. The spokeswoman also noted that Sony looks toward their global standard, which, let's be honest, is NPC cowtailing. It's no secret that Sony moved to California, and not just Sony of America. The entire entertainment division of Sony moved to California. It's not just, we're going to look at the American games. No, you now have NPC working in Sony from California that control what goes on over in Japan, which is insane to me. That's nuts. You want to talk about a Trojan horse into the culture over there. That's it. Now, the one thing to also note out here, to be fair, is console gaming for the most part over in Japan is quite done. They're more into Switch. They're more into phone games, stuff like that. I think the Switch is healthy. PSP and PS Vita had spectacular lifespans over there. They went for a long time. Way more popular over there than they ever were over here. And that's for a big reason, because they work all day and night. They take a lot of train and commuting, so they play their games mostly on those platforms, and then they go home, they eat dinner, and they go to bed. That's a whole video in itself, talking about the work culture over there. But the point is, they work a lot. By the time they get home, they eat and they go to bed because they're exhausted from working all day. And then they get up and they go back to work. But on their way there and back, they play Vita. Well, they did play Vita. Now I suspect they're playing Switch and stuff like that. The portable gaming market is humongous over in Japan. Having a dedicated console, not really a big thing anymore. That's why I think the Switch was kind of a genius idea as far as picking up that market and other markets. I still think the Switch is a genius idea in general. I really enjoy that platform. But anyway, that's the big popular platform over there for those reasons. So in closing on this, before I want to give a quick Vic update on something, I think that this is very interesting. This was a very strange platform that I've ever seen anyone run on. And it will be interesting. Will, defending anime and manga become a cornerstone now for people over in Japan when they run for things? I think that'd be really interesting. Could we ever see anything like that over here? You know what I'm saying? That's an interesting idea. What would that look like? Because anime and manga aren't as big over here, not like it is over there. But what could someone run on over here that's similar? Let me know in the comments what you think about that. So one little filing here, not a big deal, not a big thing. We kind of already knew this was coming, but I like to cover these as they go. This is not worth even a 5-minute video, which is why I'm just giving you an update on this one, because a lot of people on my channel follow this stuff. So I wanted to give you guys this update. Please take notice that the hearing of Moronica and their motion to dismiss is set for hearing on Thursday, August 8th, 2019 at 1:30 p.m. with any supplemental information since then. And that's it. So that's pretty much it. Not a lot to update there, but I did want to let you guys know that did drop, and we do have an official date and time. So let me know what you guys think about this. Are you looking forward to the Beard's epic response to Moronica's filing? I'm surprised this is going before the Funimation hearing. We'll see. Anyway, Let me know what you think about the guy over in Japan, this, other stuff. Leave a comment, like, and share the video. Those help out a lot, more than you would ever know. Also, check your notification bell. Make sure you got that hit. If you're new, subscribe. If you're an older subscriber, make sure you're still subscribed. Check out the links in the description, particularly to my Twitch. I'm almost up to 1K followers over there, which is my goal. And then we can start doing a lot of streaming over there. But I would like to hit that number, and we're almost there. So for those of you who've been going over there, thank you. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you that watch the content. And I'll see you guys real soon.